Athens, the city of seven hills, is the historical capital of Europe, the birthplace of democracy, arts, science and philosophy, of Western civilization. Athens is one of the world's oldest cities and the home of Plato, Socrates, Pericles, Euripides, Sophocles, Aeschylus. Its recorded history spanning around 3,400 years. Today, under the shadow of Parthenon, the city reflects its exciting history, its multicultural modern personality as well as the infrastructure and facilities. Although Athenians have endured difficult circumstances since the start of the economic crisis in 2009, the city as a whole crackles with energy in art shows, political debates and even on the walls of derelict buildings. The Mediterranean climate, the astonishing natural beauty and the Greek sunlight is the unique combination. Athens is also one big gastronomic adventure. There are several different good food options you can explore. You can try filo-layered bougatsa and cheese pie, loukoumades, fried donut balls, grilled meats, fresh feta, Greek olives, and some tasty local wines. A large part of the town's historic center has been converted into a 3-kilometre pedestrian zone, one of the largest in Europe. It leads to the major archaeological sites, reconstructing, to a large degree, the ancient landscape. The Grande Promenade around Acropolis is an unforgettable journey through history, either on foot or by bike. Each neighborhood in Athens has its own unique attractions and character. The Temple of Olympian Zeus was once the largest temple in Greece. It took almost 700 years to build, forms the symbolic entrance to the city. From there, walking along Dionysiou Areopagus Street, you pass the ancient theatre of Dionysus, where most of the works by Sophocles, Euripides, Aeschylus and Aristophanes were performed. Linking Hadrian's Arch to Philopappou Hill, Dionysiou Areopagus is popularly described as an open-air museum and living monument having lively, spontaneous street life. Continuing, you will reach the ruins of the Asclepieion and the Stoa of Eumenes and from there the Odeon of Herodes Atticus, which is nowadays the venue of the performances of the Athens Festival. From there you climb up to the magnificent Acropolis rock which is visible from almost every part of the city. It is the site of some of the most important masterpieces of worldwide architecture and art. Also the Propylaea, the temple of the Athene Nike and the Erechtheion are very impressive. Moreover, from the rock you have an impressive view of the city. The best view of the Acropolis, as well as the city, is from a rock formation about 300 meters to its west. Very close to the rock of Acropolis stands the Acropolis Museum, one of the most important contemporary works of architecture in Athens. It houses 4,000 priceless finds from the Acropolis monuments that represent its history and function as the most important religious center of ancient Athens. Coming down from the Acropolis you arrive at the Areopagus, the most ancient law court of the world. Opposite it is Philopappou Hill, with its beautiful cobbled little roads and the Roman monument by the same name on its top, where the citizens of ancient Athens used to assemble and exert their democratic rights. Walking farther along the pedestrian road you arrive at the ancient Agora, which was the commercial, political as well as religious center of ancient Athens. A visit to the archaeological site will give you the opportunity to become familiar with the workings of classical Athenian democracy and visit the Temple of Hephaestus. From there, via Ermou Street, you arrive at the Keramikos, the largest cemetery of the ancient city, with impressive tomb sculptures and stelae. The Eridanos River runs through the archaeological site. The most famous Athenian neighborhood of Plato is definitely a top attraction for visitors. If you come to Athens for its ancient history, stay in Plaka, a lively neighborhood located within walking distance of the city's major archaeological site. Its picturesque street, historic landmark and lively shop make it a must-see. It is the core of the historic center and has been inhabited without interruption since antiquity. When you walk through the narrow labyrinthine streets lined with houses and mansions from the neoclassical period, you will have the impression of traveling with a time machine. You will encounter ancient monuments, such as the Socrates monument, done by a wealthy donor of theatrical performances, the Roman Agora with the famed Tower of the Winds and Hadrian's Library, scores of bigger and smaller churches, true masterpieces of Byzantine art and architecture, as well as remnants of the Ottoman period. There are also some interesting museums, lots of picturesque tavernas, cafes, bars, shops selling souvenirs and traditional Greek products. Continuing from Plato, you arrive at Monastyraki. It is a characteristic area of old Athens, with narrow streets and small buildings where the city's traditional bazaar is held. Monastyraki, or Little Monastery, is named after a monastic compound that once occupied the site. Close to Monastyraki is the Psiri area, a traditional neighborhood which during the past few years has evolved into one of the most important centers of the town's nightlife. Consists of an eclectic mix of bar, nightclub, taverna, cafe, and restaurant. However, the heart of the historical center is the traditional commercial neighborhood, with more than 2,500 shops of all kind, which spreads out over the streets surrounding Ermou Street. The western border of the area is Athens Street, where the foodstuff commerce is concentrated, reminding one strongly of the Middle East. Here are situated, among others, the neoclassical building of the town hall, the municipal market and Kotsias Square. Within the boundary of Athens' historical center also are the picturesque neighborhoods of Mkriani, Ano Petralona, Thesian, where you will find small interesting museums and mix of bars, cafes, bars and restaurants, Keramikos and Metaxkeio, as well as the Gazi area, with the former gasworks, which now have been turned into a cultural center of the Athens municipality. Sintagma and Omonio are the main central squares of the town. They are linked by Stadiou Street and Panepistimiou Avenue, along which some of the town's most beautiful neoclassical buildings. Sintagma Square's location facing Parliament has since established it as the main site for demonstrations and election rallies. Like Athens itself, Sintagma Square has changed through the centuries. In front of Parliament is the monument of the unknown soldier, guarded by the Evzones in traditional costume. From this square starts the beautiful National Gardens, south of which stands the impressive Zappeion. From the you can thence to the Panathenouikon, Kalimarmaro, Stadium, where in 1896, the first Olympic Games in modern history were held. From there, crossing the Pangrati and Metz neighborhood, the road leads you to the first cemetery, the oldest one in Athens, basically an outdoor sculpture display with a wealth of wonderful monumental tombstones by some of the most important sculptors of the 19th and 20th centuries. Omonia is as much a symbol of the modern city as the Acropolis is of the ancient, and with as many cultural references. From Omonia Square starts Patrician Street, a busy street with interesting buildings, amongst which are the neoclassical of the Polytechnic School and the National Archaeological Museum, which ranks among the leading museums in the world and hosts rare art treasures from the Neolithic to the Roman period. Close to the museum is the Exarchie neighborhood, a charming and very lively neighborhood, traditional meeting point and home to many students and artists. From Exarchia, crossing the Neapoli neighborhood, you can climb the Lykovatos Hill. Standing 277 meters above sea level, Lykovatos Hill is the highest point of Athens. The beautiful walk up via a circular path will be a challenge. Alternatively, a funicular or cliff railway can take you to the top of the hill. From its top you have a view of the entire city, all the way to the sea. On the southern slopes of Lykovatos Hill is the Kalanaki neighborhood, whose boundary is Vasilissis Sophia's Avenue, one of the most grandiose streets of Athens with beautiful buildings, many museums and green areas. In Kalanaki, which is considered to be the most aristocratic area of the center of Athens, you will find many shops selling expensive brands and high couture. As one of the capital's leading shopping areas, it includes a number of high-end boutiques from young adult to casual fashion to prestigious haute couture from Greek and international designers. There is also a plethora of available options for nightlife. Outdoor seating on pedestrian walks is typical, creating a lively atmosphere at night. The main Kalanaki square surrounded by modern restaurants, bars and cafes, ouzouris, and tavernas. While it is worthwhile to take a stroll through the central streets with their art buildings, it would take days to go to every single site and museum in the city. But even if all you have is a single day, the historical center can be very fulfilling and is undoubtedly worth a walk. Thank you for watching the video. If you watch all my lectures, you may be able to start investing in rental properties a little quicker. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell to get alerts when a new video is posted. Please write your comments, questions, or concerns you would like to share.